morning, or depending when you're watching this, good afternoon, good evening, or good night. My name's Ross, and as always told, out of Voice of Radio. So today we need to look at new Trick or Trade booster bundles. Yeah, that's right, ladies and gentlemen. Not only are Trick or Trade booster bundles confirmed, they're actually up for pre-order on the Pokémon Center. Like, I saw the image of this being shared around over on Twitter, so I went and did some investigating. And yeah, it turns out they're literally just up for pre-order on the Pokémon Center right now. They are up for pre-order on the Pokémon Center UK for $14.99, which is awesome. I'm such a fan of this product. I'm going to speak very glowingly about this product as we go, and that's cool. Now, on the one hand, this might initially appear to be a little bit cheaper than last year's bundle. Last year's bundle came in at £20, $19.99. This one comes in at £15, $14.99. What's the I hear you shout? What a wonderful thing. In a world where the price of everything is increasing exponentially, the booster bundles are getting cheaper. Well, are they? Because you see, last year you got 50 mini packs. This year you get 35. So if we do some back of the napkin maths here, a year ago we were paying £20 for 50 packs, which means the packs worked out at 40p a pack. Now we're spending £15 on 35 packs, and they come in at 43p a pack. It's not much more. It's very comparable. 3p a pack isn't very much, but and I'm not complaining about this, incidentally. I just need you guys to know that although they look cheaper, they have actually gone up in price a tiny bit. I don't think it's a huge deal. It's not a massive complaint. It's just out there. Of course, one of the things that is important to note here, go back and look at my videos. I've literally opened booster bundles for the past 2 years. And both years, I've actually not opened all of my packs. What I've done the past couple of years is I've opened until I got a complete set. And it didn't take that long. Generally speaking, I would get about halfway through and have a complete set. Opening up the booster bundle in the past couple of years, I think would get you at least 2 complete sets and then a whole bunch of extra stuff. But what I did last year, I went trick-or-treating with my kids. And I don't get trick-or-treaters in my house because I'm down a big lane and it's a whole deal, all right? I don't get trick-or-treaters. I've lived here for 6-7 years and I've not had literally any trick-or-treaters. My house is too far out the way. So what I do is I go trick-or-treating with my kids, and I went last year and I took all of my spare booster packs. And I had my kids running around, safely of course, giving out booster packs to other trick-or-treaters that we saw in the street. My children were very popular because they were running around giving out Pokemon cards. Kids love these booster bundles. If you're going trick-or-treating and you can, get some of these taken with you. If you get trick-or-treaters, get some of these. Have them for when the trick-or-treaters come round. I assure you, these are awesome products. They're very popular. I literally cannot speak highly enough about these as just a Halloween piece of fun. If you get trick-or-treaters, these are great. If you don't, but you're going trick-or-treating, take some of these with you. That's what I did last year, and it went brilliantly. So, if we have a look at the back of the pack, it says this: spooky surprises lurk inside. Share Pokeween fun and excitement on the spookiest night of the year with a bundle of booster packs. Inside you'll find 35 mini packs, each containing 3 colourful cards from the Pokemon trading card game. Now, I think, given that we're in year 3 and years 1 and 2 went exactly the same, I think we can fairly make some assumptions here. Here are the assumptions I'm going to make, although this is all unconfirmed until we hear otherwise. Of the 3 cards in the pack, expect 1 to be holo. They could take out the holos to save money. I'm hoping that they don't, but that is an option. I can't see anything in the listing where it's confirmed. Let me know if you can. I can't see anything on here. Each mini pack contains 3 cards is what we're told. You can also assume that these are going to be straight reprints. These are just going to be straight reprinted cards that we've seen, like the Pikachu, for instance. They're going to have a stamp on them. Here is a nice little image of, I believe, all the cards from the 2022 set. You'll notice they've all got the Pikachu on them. And you can see they've got a nice mix of Pokemon on there. But you'll also notice that they're all kind of ghosts. Now, there are a few that aren't. There's a Spinarak, not a ghost, but, Spooder. And then we've got Cubone, which, we all get it. Tragic, but we get it. And the only one that doesn't have actually there is a Mewtwo on there, to be fair. But then outside of that, it's Pikachu, which you kind of get it. They're generally spooky Pokemon. Not necessarily full-on ghost Pokemon, but certainly spooky Pokemon. If we flick forward to 2003, we see a similar kind of thing. We've got ourselves a bunch of spooky Pokemon. Again, we got things like Zubat. It's not necessarily a ghost, but it's spooky. And then obviously there is a Pikachu in there as well. But you'll notice that both years have the same stamp. I don't think that is a coincidence. I think that's entirely deliberate. So there are some assumptions that can be made here. If the stamp hasn't changed the past 2 years, I think it's fair to assume that the stamp won't change this year. Similarly, there are certain Pokemon that just get featured every year. There are certain Pokemon that if you were betting on what's going to appear here, you would put a bet in. Both years we've had a Pikachu. That seems fairly sensible. Both years we've had a Gengar. So it seems fairly sensible that we would get another Gengar again. Gengar's the main ghost Pokemon. Obviously that makes sense. Both years we've had a Chandelure, for instance. So it would make sense that we would get them again. And of course, we can have a look, and there are certain Pokemon featured on the front of the booster bundle, including Gengar and Pikachu. Of course there's going to be a Pikachu. Why would there not be a Pikachu? There's always a Pikachu. And again, of course there's going to be a Gengar. There's always a Gengar. It's a very easy guess that there's going to be a Gengar. Similarly, we've had 2 years, and both years we've had a Trevenant. It's a great bet that there's going to be a Trevenant again, but actually it's on the front of the pack. Pikachu, Gengar, and Trevenant, even if they weren't on the front of the pack, we would feel extremely confident that they'd be featured. We haven't had an Umbreon yet, though, have we? No. No, we have not. If you want to start making some predictions, if we have a look at Umbreon, for instance, and see which ones have been released that could end up being featured here, I'm kind of guessing it has to be the one from Obsidian Flames, because that's actually the first regular Umbreon we've had since, a Sword and Shield era promo. So it kind of has to be that one. I feel extremely confident, overwhelmingly confident, that it is going to be the Obsidian Flames Flareon that gets featured here, because it's the only one, and they're not going to be EXs or any of that, just to be clear. It's going to be regular Pokemon. That's a very, very easy guess. Trevenant, however, there was one in Obsidian Flames, but there was also one in Twilight Masquerade. So trying to guess which one we get becomes a whole lot more annoying. And neither of them, although we've had a Trevenant the past 2 years in Trick or Trade, neither of them were either of these Trevenant. So we kind of have to just cross our fingers. If you're asking me to guess, I'm going to assume it's going to be Obsidian Flames. Twilight Masquerade is very new. This product would have been designed, put into production, etc. a little while ago. So it makes sense that they started work on this quite a while back, probably last Halloween. So Obsidian Flames makes more sense than Twilight Masquerade. Just a prediction, nothing more than that. But I do think it's going to be the one from Twilight Masquerade. In terms of Gengar, it kind of has to be the one from 151. Sure, they could go for Sword and Shield era cards, but at this stage, we're a year and a half into Scarlet and Violet, it doesn't make much sense to be going to Sword and Shield. And I know last year, we can have a look, we got a mixture of grey and yellow borders, as opposed to 2022 when it was all yellow borders. Yellow borders, remember, pre-Scarlet and Violet, grey borders, Scarlet and Violet. But I think this year, it's got to go full grey borders, surely. Surely this year it's got to go full grey borders. So assuming that's going to be the case, we can put a pretty safe bet on the Gengar being the one from 151, as an example. Now, in terms of the Pikachu, like, we get 1 million Pikachu. Last year, we got the one, of course, that was in Paldea and Fates. So assuming they don't double up, we're getting the one from Temporal Forces. Because it's the only regular Pikachu we've had. I'm not counting shiny or promos or any of that. So it kind of makes sense. I think we can start having a look at this and making some pretty sensible predictions. It is worth noting some cards were repeated between the first 2 Trick and Trade booster bundles, so we could just get the Paldea Evolved Pikachu again. That is a possibility. I like to think they're going to switch up to the Temporal Forces, but as always, we're going to have to wait and see. And I know it's not on the front of the booster bundle, but come on. We always get a Chandelure. And the good news for you, lovely ladies and gentlemen, is there is actually a new Chandelure we can go and pick here. In fact, we've got 2. We've got Obsidian Flames and Twilight Masquerade. Once again, my prediction here very simply is Obsidian Flames, because Twilight Masquerade is very, very new. It's not on the front of the pack, but come on. There's always a Chandelure. And to be fair, if you're looking at spooky, ghosty Pokemon, and I'm not taking any counter-arguments on this, Chandelure is the best. So that would make a lot of sense. So we do have a release date here, kind of. They're going to be shipping late August. So late August, beginning of September is what we've got in terms of a release date here. We've got ourselves a price, at least in the UK. These are not yet listed on the US site. Expect them to be $15. That's not confirmed, but they were $20, £20 last year, so expect them to be £15, $15 this year. Not confirmed. As it stands, they're not up for pre-order on the Pokemon Center US, only the UK, which is doubly weird because in year 1 we didn't get them at all, and trick-or-treating is a way bigger thing in the US, but expect them to go up soon at $15. It's going to happen. It's going to be fun. Right, there we go. I've even told you some of the cards that are coming in there, and I think my predictions are sound. But now it's over to you guys. Tell me what you think about all of this. Tell me if you're going to be picking them up. Go nuts in the comment section, but be nice. And then make sure you like this video, subscribe to this channel, follow me on Twitter at TheWasi. That's where we talk about Pokemon and a whole bunch of other card games. And please do consider checking out patreon.com/PTCG Radio, where you can support the channel, get some bonus podcasts, join a Discord, and all kinds of fun things. And get shout-outs on the channel, of course, like the lovely Martin Cornwall, who's been a supporter of ours since the podcast started way back in 2012, and has always been a very lovely person to me, so shout-out to them for the support and the loveliness. But by far the most important thing, as always, look after yourselves till next time, would ya? Thank you very much for watching. My name's Ross, and you've been watching PTCG Radio.